A limousine made an emergency stop. It turned out to be a bald man lying in the middle of the road. You're pretending to be dead. Your leg's broken. Pay up. The windows are slowly coming down. How much do you want to pay? This voice is coming from the young master hung in front of us. The bald master came up and asked for 100,000, saying 100,000 would cure his leg. The bodyguard followed the young master's wish and took out 100,000 in cash. Bald Moncler outlet store surprised at the thick cash. Then he stood up and bowed to thank young master hung in the car. Then the expression side of the grimace. Really, still fools are good to deceive. But suddenly, the limousine backed up again. Since you traded me for injuries, I must give you injuries. The bald man was trembling with fear. The two bodyguards are going to lift the grandpa up and put him under the car, but the young master wasn't cruel and let him leave the place anyway. The driver is also indignant. This kind of person should be made to suffer a lot. Young Master Hong said in a bored voice, "Forget it. There's something calling me at home." This man is called Hong Dali. His family is very rich. Once spent $800,000 on a gambling stone but got marble instead. Invested in a flat, only for the person in charge to run off with the money. During this period, we also bought many patents for inventions that turned out to be money losers. He's the loser everyone knows, but today he's a different man. He has an extra system of defeat in his body, spending money to regain his strength. Hong Dali's family had a new guest, and his mother kindly introduced him to the Hong Dali weakly looked at this strange girl, some surprised. The girl was also feeling a little shy. After all, it was a boy she had never met before. The mother kept introducing the girl's merits, saying that she was Uncle Tang's daughter Tang Mushin, and this pretty girl is Hong Dali's fiancée. This is the marriage grandpa fixed for them. The family has never forgotten it. The mother was very fond of the girl and wanted her son to marry the girl immediately, then slapped the girl's arse hard and had to give me a grandchild. This scene left Tang Machine at a loss for words and shock. "I'm thinking I haven't even agreed yet. Why are you thinking of having a grandchild so soon?" Hong Li looked at it, seems to be quite interested. After all, it is a rare beauty. Looking at the sick man in front of me, it felt like there was only one breath left to breathe. Just 10 minutes ago, Tang Machine father saw her off. So it's because the Tang family is having money problems. That's why Tang Machine was ready to marry the Hung family to find a relationship. For the sake of the family business, Tang Machine had to follow her father's command, because she's already thinking of repenting the marriage when the family has recovered. With Tang Machine's good looks, it's easy to make the other party like her. But Hong Li only said, "I'm not interested. I want to go out and play." This sentence directly annoyed Tang Machine. I still don't care about it. However, under her mother's persuasion, Tang Machine stayed behind. Even the father started counseling his son that it was a good marriage. Her mother even said that if you don't marry her, you won't have any pocket money. There's no choice but to bring her with us for now. Although Tang Machine didn't learn much psychology, but Hong Dali is a notorious fool. The mother then gave her son $300,000 to buy Tang Machine a gift. Without saying a word, the two of them set off straight away. The two of them in the car were silent. In fact, the current Hong Li has been given a new system. It's like having memories of another world. Hong Dali politely said like Tang Machine to go and pick out his favorite gift. Tang Machine walked straight into the antique market and decided to buy a treasure. It didn't take long for Tang Machine to find a $300 stone. It shocked Hong Li that he could ask for a $300 piece of junk. After paying the money, Tang Machine directly turned her head and walked backwards. He's going to the jade shop this time to appraise what he's buying. At this time, Hong Dali is still very curious. Such a stone can be used to identify the. But suddenly, Halfman looks up and tells them he's willing to pay $3 million for the stone. Hong Li was very embarrassed. Just now he was still doubting that this thing is not worth money. A random purchase on a carpet is now worth $3 million. Tang Machine glanced at Hong Dali with a playful expression. At this moment, Hong Dali's eyes seem to have a golden light coming out of them. He's going to let this fiancé make him a lot of money. But at this time, Tang Machine was back to being a high and mighty princess. "You told me you weren't interested in me before, but now you've changed." Hong Li directly put his thoughts out, wanting him to help him earn money. However, for the sake of the family business, Tang Machine could only agree to Hong Dali's request. But at that moment, Tang Machine suddenly saw a strange scene. Three men in tattered clothes were thrown out by a waiter. This is a 3-star hotel. The waiter first customer status is low did not let into the. Not only did the condescending waitress not let them eat, but she threw them out. The three of them cursed and left the restaurant. Since he won't let us eat in the shop, we'll eat in the shop across the street. The three of them directly asked the boss to prepare a few dishes for themselves. But then the owner came and said the restaurant had closed down and told them to eat somewhere else. It happened because the hotel across the street bought all the ingredients. This made the three even angrier. This tactic was too ruthless. A voice came slowly from behind. It's not impossible to put him out of business. Hong Dali directly said, "Boss lady, how much your shop I buy it?" The lady boss was first kind, but said she could buy it for $1 million. Hong Li directly asked his bodyguard to take out $3 million in cash and give it to the boss's wife. He's prepared to pay for 10 days of free meals in a row for anyone who comes along. This sentence directly stunned them. Then this is not to lose the end. It was Tang Moxin who was also puzzled by Hong Dali's approach. First time I've seen a real loser, but it doesn't feel like a fool. The effect is really appearing. Free lunch, no one you do not want to eat. The scene was so crowded that you couldn't even stand up, but a wine glass was instantly smashed onto the landing. This is the boss across the street reprimanding his employees. In the Hong family's high-class villa, the servant moved cautiously around the room. Inside the room was our protagonist Hong Dali, who was checking his system, because Bacardi spent all $3 million during the day today, and now all the body's indices are recover. Strength, speed, reflexes and health have improved significantly. Hong Li discovered that as long as he was willing to lose, he could improve his physique. It looks like we're going to spend the rest of the day losing money. He's basically cured himself now. But just then, a knock came to mind outside the house. So it's Tang Moxin who's here. It seems she's going out to lose her home. I have to go to school tomorrow. Are you coming? Are you nuts? What are you standing there for? The current Hong Li had no previous memories, but luckily Tang Moxin reminded him. Tang Moxin twisted her head and left the place. I'm going to bed. Looking at the scene in front of him, Hong Li's eyes are straight, but his body is weak and can't help. Hong Li was determined to lose more money so that he could recover his body more quickly. Inside the sunny school the next day, Hong Li's exclusive limousine is parked in front of the school. The two of them stepped out of the car in style and walked slowly towards the school. At this time, a group of people were muttering on the side that the second fool Hong Dali was back, but a lot of people are also wondering how Tang Moxin's schoolgirl is also on his side. A group of boys looked at this scene directly after the anger. A boy suddenly shouted out Tang Moxin's name and told him to go to his place. Tang Moxin looked at the rich kid in front of her with some trepidation. "Moxin, I've been waiting for you, come to me." It was Hong Dali who suddenly appeared in front of the man, blocking his next harassment. He angrily accused, "Hong Dali, you dare to be my. Do you want to get beaten up again?" The man clenches his fists in anger and prepares to attack. Hong Dali felt the speed of the fist was fast. If it was yesterday, it would not be able to avoid it. Hong Dali's body sidestepped backwards, perfectly avoiding this swift attack. That's not all. Hong Li took out his walking stick and struck him hard on the leg. Bam! Young Master Ryu was plunged headfirst into the rubbish bin. The two attendants hurriedly and quickly pulled Major Lu out of the rubbish bin. The smelly Lu looks more like a fool at the moment. Instantly a line of mocking voices came from all around. Lu Mingqing had actually been defeated. Then the angry Lu Mingqing grabbed Hong Dali's clothes and prepared to give him a beating. But suddenly, with a scream of pain, the crutches fell to the ground. "What's going on here? I haven't even played yet." "Lu Mingqing, you're crazy. You know Hong Dali's body is so weak and you still beat him up." Hong Dali mentally smiled. "I didn't expect Tang Moxin to come out and speak for me. People are looking at it as a joke. The Hongs can't afford to mess with the Lu family." Lu Mingqing hurriedly said, "Brother Dali, how are you? Or I send you to the hospital." "Hong Dali, I know you're faking. Make me an offer and we'll forget about it." Hong Dali saw that the situation was still not good. Or continue to pretend to be beaten up. This instantly bowled Lu Mingqing over and he hurriedly knelt down to apologize to him. Then he took out $500,000 from his body and told Hong to go to the hospital for a checkup. Then he turned his head and said angrily as he walked away, "What bad luck." Hong Dali looked at the 500,000 cash in his hand and secretly smiled. Another 500,000 earned. Hong Dali happily told Tang Moxin, "Wife, you still care about me." Tang Moxin said awkwardly, "If it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't have helped you." Collapsed on the ground to the Hong Li continued to say, "If not for you, I'll be ugly this time." These sudden words of love made Tang Moxin shy and not knowing what to say. They took a car and left the campus straight away. They had money to go and keep on losing. 54. We made money on the last one we invested in, and we're going to keep throwing money at it today. You think you'll get a return just by dropping money on a random place? You're a loser, no doubt. Well, that's just how I roll. Where's the money going to go? Suddenly, Hong Li was shocked by the scene in front of him. Hong Dali hurriedly asked the driver to stop the car. As it was on the bridge in the distance, they saw an unbelievable scene, and the two of them rushed forward to catch up. Ali was a girl who was about to jump off the bridge, and they rushed forward to stop her. This woman doesn't look like an ordinary person. Her body and looks are absolutely stunning. When she turned her head over, she found even more heartbreaking beauty. The duo kindly consoled the beautiful woman after she was all the way down. Hong, however, said that her husband ran away and that's why she jumped into the river. Right? The pretty girl says she's offended someone and is now cornered and desperate. The other party is also a big brother. He can't afford to mess with him. This fool is nothing but a meddler. He can afford it. The beauty says her name is Lin Yanwei. She's a singer with her own three-piece girl group. The two were directly stunned. This was the star of the moment. But the pretty lady's boss always made excessive demands, which led to the team's disbandment. At this time, Tang Muxin looked at him fiercely, telling him to hurry up and think of a solution. Hong Dali is also very distressed. This use of money can solve the current problem. This is where Tang Muxin suddenly came up with a rather good idea. And it can also make money. Hong Dali listened carefully as she listened her thoughts, and little by little, suddenly Hong Dali said, "Wife, you smell so good." Tang Muxin angrily asked Hong Dali if he had listened to his own words. Hong Dali directly spoke. "Miss Li, your mother's medical expenses I paid for you, and in 3 days, I'll put the three of you back together as a team." 3 days later in the evening, the weather was as good as Miss Li's mood, because there was a loud and powerful music coming from a huge concert venue. The fans below shouted, "I love you, girl, I love you." These fans are actually some fake ones who were paid to be here. When Tang Muxin saw the scene, she felt that Hong Dali's solution was quite good, because it causes a herd effect over time. Tang Muxin listened to the moving music and felt that their music team was great. The guitarist on the set played his music with vigor. The captain told his team to do their first performance in front of an audience. The team is also aware of how difficult this opportunity is and will surely treasure it. The light swings back and forth like a beautiful woman who's been wronged. The team of three was shining on stage as they should be. They don't open their mouths, but when they open their mouths to sing, they set the room on fire. The audience below had paid to be there, but they didn't expect to hear such great music. These people gradually turned from passers-by to fans and started cheering for the girl group. Something like this would have spread quickly on the outside as well. Crowding into a concert, not only do they get to hear such a great song for free, but they also get to see Miss. Their fans became more and more numerous, until the concert venue could not be crowded. The crowd down there is a buzz. It's not just on the site, it's all over the internet. It's time for the third and final day of the free concert. Even Tang Muxin, who doesn't like powerful music, was driven by it. Hong Li looked at this incredible scene and already started to think of the next countermeasure. The story also reached the ears of the girl group's former boss. He opened his mouth to pass out orders to bring the three of them back. The superstar girl group blocked the two in the street. Then there was a unanimous bow of gratitude for the event. The two rushed to assist, as the two of them were also bowled over by the girl group's charms. Seeing their growing popularity, Hong Dali is ready to bring back his salary and start making money. Tang Muxin also said that the three of them would never be buried in the sea of people again. Hearing this, one of the girl group gritted her teeth and told of the previous boss's crimes. The remaining two followed suit. The previous boss was simply a demon. Lin Yanwei prayed to continue to help him into the company as an artiste, but Hong Li said he doesn't have an entertainment company and it's useless to collect them. Muzzin thinks the company is simply nothing more than money for terminating the contract. Lin Yanwei told the two of them with a trembling voice, 30 million yuan. This number directly let the loser Hong Li also a burst of amazement. So much where to get. The two of them looked at their hotel and were going to sell it to raise the $30 million. Tang Muxin felt that it was a bit unworthy. After all, this was their first money-making project. But Hong Li said that in the future, money will come faster than restaurants. The hotel owner across the street is furious. His own restaurant has cooled off, no money to acquire. I was thinking of selling the hotel, but I didn't realize realize that the 3-star hotel across the street. Tang Machine accuses Hong Li of not having much money now. This is an enchanting beauty shouting from the back to the boss. Hong Dali looked at this person as very different. I do not know this person. It turns out he's the hotel's secretary, Lo Xiaoyi, and he's here to report on the financials. I didn't realize that this hotel had already lost more than 50 million. Hong Dali was stunned. Tang Machine was also speechless, holding her forehead with her hand. What a loser. Hong Dali looked at his fiancée, not knowing what to do for a moment himself. Tang Machine was confused by this sudden debt and didn't know what to do either. Late at night, the lights of the Hong family still haven't gone out. Hong Dali sat on the bed and carefully studied the current condition of his own system. I didn't realize that your move today has upgraded yourself with a bonus to all your attributes and unlocked a skill to control small animals up to 20 pounds and be aware of it. With that said, Hong Li was ready to try his newly unlocked skill. His mind gradually spread out in all directions, looking for animals around him. The distance can only be 50 meters. Any further than that and you can't explore. Suddenly, the cat raised by her mother was explored by Hong Li's consciousness. Consciousness instantly took control of the cat and the sleeping cat sat straight up. After looking around and realizing that the cat's senses are all his own, someone's coming this way. It's Tang Machine. Tang Machine did not know at this time that this cat was Hong Dali, and tenderly stroked his forehead. Hong Dali looked at Tang Machine's legs in a cheap manner and felt a wave of shyness. Hong Dali, who had never liked cats before, now loves them. Suddenly he saw an angle, and here it blew him away. Hong Dali simply nosebleed out. This is too shocking. The next day, in the 3-star hotel that Hong Dali had just acquired, Hong Dali pretended to be weak and sat on the boss chair, arranging what to do next. Because the invitations sent to the ex-boss were thrown straight out of the window, and now the hotel is completely unpopular and is losing money every day. I think about how I regretted thinking about squeezing a hotel every day before, but nowadays girl groups are super traffic. If you waste it, you can't get it back later on. The girl group has also lost a lot of heat lately, and no one is talking about it anymore. If this keeps up, I guess the hard-earned money spent on the girl group will be useless. If it weren't for the fact that this hotel might have been redeemed for the money it owes. Hong vigorously gritted his teeth in anger, but in the present form there's probably nothing better to do than to take the money for the ransom. This is a good idea that Tang Machine came up with, but it's a bit damaging. Hong Dali was immediately excited. What method? Quickly say. That's to find the other side's blackmail and use it as blackmail to negotiate. Late at night, Hong Li brought his fiancée to the girl group's former company here. They're about to do something big, but this time it's a little risky. The bodyguard matched Hong Li's command with a serious face. Hong is planning to use the cat to infiltrate the company to find the company's black information. In just a moment, Hong Li's spirit linked with the cat. The cat jumped out of the car window and started to enter the company's interior. Glancing at the company's still-lit lights, I wondered if the operation would go well. If the girl group really goes well this time, the girl group will be able to enter the company. At this time Hong Li's consciousness has entered the cat's body, but you have to get into the company to find the black stuff. Using the cat's jumping skills, he made it to the first floor window in a matter of seconds, but embarrassingly, the cat is just too fat to try to access it. The first challenge was finally solved by getting inside the former boss's company. After a while of observation, they had to find the chairman's office. I found it. I hope the door isn't locked or something. Luckily the lift was working and the cat leapt up to press it. This is the place. The cat continued to look around. The chairman's office. I wonder if there will be any of their black stuff in there. The door was just open. It was a real stroke of luck. After quietly observing it, I found that there was no one inside. I also found the computer on the boss's desk. I'm almost there. I didn't realize it was like playing a game. It was easy to get to the computer. He must have some dark information about himself on his computer that he can't see. Hong Dali gently pressed the on button with his cat's paw, and there was an immediate result. Hong Dali suddenly blew up, because the computer even set the boot password inside. Without the code, there's no way to search for the black material and the plan will fail. Is it about to be put up? Suddenly Hong Li heard a faint voice. It seems that there are still people around here. You're not going to be exposed, are you? Hong Li continued to maneuver the cat, ready to follow the place of the sound to find the past. Arrived at the work area to find it still empty. Once again he heard a voice coming out. This time it seemed to be much closer, approaching slowly again in the direction of the voice. Who could be here at night? The cat moves cautiously along the corridor, afraid of making any noise. It's around here. It sounds like a man and a woman, and it's particularly ambiguous. Is it cheating? It's true. It sounds like the boss is having an affair with his wife. This time we must record this event. Hong Dali smiled coldly. Isn't this the black material he wanted? The cat had a camera hooked up to its neck in advance, just in time to be put to good use. The next day, Hong Li directly arranged for his secretary to send last night's video to his ex-boss, because the weight of this thing is already worth $30 million. Tang Moxing was curious how he could get the other party to terminate the contract with just one video. Although Tang Moxing continued to ask questions, Hong Dali had no intention of saying anything. Since you don't say it, then I don't care to see it. Tang Moxing twisted her head angrily. Looking at Tang Moxing's pitiful appearance, Hong Li still told him about the video recording, but as far as it's clear that Don Moxing can't believe he's got access to such wonderful evidence. And to the ex-boss's side, a growl came out of the house. The owner angrily blamed the security guards for not being able to see even a single and letting someone else film the evidence, spending all that money on security and no one noticing. The boss was furious when he heard that the cat did it. He fired them all. There's no way out. Now the boss can only burn the girl group's contract, mentally swearing that it's not over. Wait for it. It's a day for all to see. A crowd of passers-by are trying to get close enough to see what's going on. Some men, in particular, want to look at the goddess with glowing eyes, because today we're going to meet the girl group that exploded in popularity a while ago. 3 hot, big, beautiful women shimmering on stage. It's a restaurant opening, and they've got 3 actresses coming to perform. I can't believe the owner of this hotel is so generous as to invite them, despite the fact that this hotel has been a pit stop before and the food was awful. Tang Moxing looked at the crowded hall in front of her and had to admire the Hong Dali saw the scene was actually expected because it was all done by him, while the actress has pulled up the crowds. It's a headache when no one wants to spend money. It's not hard for our protagonist Hong Dali to solve this little problem. Hong Li called his secretary and asked him to hold a 3-day banquet for free. I guess it's the only way to bring up the popularity of the hotel. Tang Moxing thought that if this goes on, sooner or later, she will have to match all of them. However, Hong Li said that he himself is a loser, so just watch it. The scene was gloriously illuminated and had people stopping by on stage, but people also just watched the power-chasing girl group. No one enters the hotel to spend money. The host said something about everyone getting free entry to the restaurant for dinner, and cut it to 3 consecutive days of eating whatever you want, and the crowd was abuzz. I don't care if it's good or not. If it fills your stomach, you won't lose anything. Suddenly there seems to be a huge monster behind us. So it's Fat Quack who heard that he's coming to eat for free and he's going to eat him up. These two are known to be good eaters. I think the company's going to go bankrupt. The host, unperturbed, invited the duo inside the restaurant, where they could eat as they pleased. Then a group of people all followed the thousands into the restaurant, ready to eat a full meal. But just inside, people were shocked. A group of people stared in awe at the scene in front of them. What kind of style is this? How did a fine dining restaurant become like this? The cooks are all inside the hall. No one is grilling with a skewer in their hands. The host continues. This is the latest product launched by our hotel. Kebabs. People in this world hear about kebabs for the first time and can't believe it's edible. At this time the Fatgor brothers are already hungry. Directly pick up the kebabs and start eating. I didn't expect the duo to eat it and realize that kebabs are simply the trend of the new era. They had never eaten anything so delicious, as if they had childhood memories. Hearing the 2 iconic figures say it's delicious, the group no longer hesitates and start to eat. Hong Li, who was standing upstairs, knew it would be like this. Even the always reserved Tang Moxing was craved by the food. In fact, this kind of barbecue is the cuisine that Hong Li made from memory. Late at night, Hong Dali's residence. As a result of today's defeat, Hong Li's system has been upgraded again. Now the strength in his body is not even comparable to that of the martial artists in this world. At that moment, there was a sudden knock on the door. Hong Li put on his pajamas and walked to the door ready to open it. Just opened the door and saw his fiancée Tang Moxing coming to see him. Tang Moxing came up and said directly, You are not Hong Dali, because Hong Dali is not as smart as you and not as fit as you are. You're obviously a fake. Tang Muxin pushed Hong Dali. Tang Muxin is guessing at all of this, because it's not like the people he knows. Hong Dali was heavily overturned by this slap on the ground. Then Tang Muxin sat directly on Hong Dali's body. What was this article doing? Tang Muxin said what she found suspicious about Hong Dali in such a long time. However, Hong Dali can't tell him the secret in his body. All these things are done according to your instructions, wife. Tang Muxin grabbed Hong Dali's hand, otherwise he would continue to touch her. Hong Dali continued to weasel his way out of it and put all the credit on Tang Muxin's shoulders. It was Tang Muxin who suddenly stood up and looked defiantly at the man beneath her. Then he said he'd go shopping with me tomorrow and left the place. In the busiest part of the city, the two of them rested their feet on one of the benches. Hong Li took out a hot dog like magic and wanted to red Tang Muxin happy. After being rejected, Hong Li filled his mouth with the huge burger in one bite, but something snatched it away before it could reach your mouth. Hong Dali angrily said, "You do not eat it? Why did you take it again?" It turned out that Tang Muxin saw a stray dog and fed it all her food. It looks like the puppy has been starving for days, whimpering for food. Seeing his food being eaten by a dog, Hong Li had to hold his breath. At that moment, a sports car pulled up quickly to one side of several people. Out of the car came a man in leather shoes who didn't look like a good guy. "You want to eat dog food? I'll give you some if you don't mind." Seeing that the visitor was so arrogant, Hong Li remembered that his behavior just now was indeed The visitor continued sarcastically, "Vigor, is this your fiancé?" The woman on the other side of the table also said, "It's the first time I've seen it. Isn't it the Tang family's girl? She's so pretty, but it's a pity." Then the man looks aside at his girlfriend with a bitchy face, "But not as pretty as you." The woman looked at the two vigorously. The family meeting was coming up in 2 months' time. Hong Dali looked at them strangely. Who are these two people? What's with all the blah 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 blah? This statement directly angered the man across the street. "And even we don't recognize him anymore." Tang Muxin also looked at Hong Dali in surprise. "How come you don't even know the clansman anymore?" It was only then that Hong Li remembered that his memories had been reborn. When the man saw how stupid Vigor looked, he started to introduce himself. "My dad is your dad's fourth brother, and I'm your real cousin. This beauty is the face of the Mu family, and the leader of the business world." Hong Li suddenly realized, "So it's cousin? Are you chasing after your cousin?" This statement directly angered cousin. "Don't meddle in my business." Then he asked his cousin, "How did the family meeting go? Can you explain?" Family meetings are held once a year to assess the performance of the clan members. The top 3 clan members will be rewarded with $1 billion in investment. But there's only 2 months left before the family meeting. The two were instantly attracted to the staggering $1 billion investment amount. Wouldn't it be great if Hong Dali used this money to upgrade his family? The form condescendingly states, "Forget it. This money is destined to be mine." Han Anbao. Hong Li looked at his cousin's bragging there and felt that his chances were really slim. Cousin continues to taunt, "So don't prepare because you'll only be a loser." He then cursed and kicked the puppy in the face. The puppy that was eating was kicked straight away by this sudden kick. He then looked angrily at Hong Anbao, who kicked himself. He leapt up and took a direct bite out of Hong Anbao's arse. Painful, Hong Anbao runs wildly in fear. The puppy in the back won't give up and keeps on chasing. The three of them watched the comical scene breathlessly. It's really hard to believe that one reward is $1 billion. It's hard for Hong to get 1 billion yuan of investment. It's actually not out of the realm of possibility for him right now. Tang Muxin responded to Hong Li, "You are simply a fool's dream." Mu Yushi used $20 million of startup capital to make $90 million a year. And you're trying to get into the top 3 and you have to pass her. After hearing such a difficult request, I just gave up and went shopping. Suddenly a woofing sound came from the side. Was it the dog just now? Tang Muxin also turned her head to look in surprise. Is it back again? Turns out it was the city administrators catching these stray dogs. Tang Muxin rushed forward to stop them. "Why are you arresting them? We just got a report of a stray dog biting someone. We're here to deal with it. It's sad that they're wandering around, but it's a pain in the arse when you hurt someone." Tang Muxin asked anxiously, What are you going to do with them when you catch them? If someone adopts, it's fine. If not, it needs to be euthanized. That's what managers don't want. But there's no way to deal with it. Tang Moshing was stunned by this sentence. So many cute dogs just died? Looking at the captured puppy in the cage, Tang Moshing could do nothing about it. She could only look to Hong Dali at her side with hope that he would save these poor puppies. Hong Li was also shocked by the scene. It seems that we really need to do something about it, Hong Dali said cheerfully. I'll fund a shelter for stray animals. Tang Moshing happily held on to Hong Dali. Dali, you're great. Looking at the sudden hug, Vigor didn't know what to make of it. It seems that Tang Moshing's heart is very kind and this fiancé is not bad either. They decided to go ahead and buy a piece of land and build a house for their pets. After arriving in the countryside, they both fell in love with this location. Hong Dali spent 10 million yuan to buy the land back and start the construction. Now I'm back to being a pauper. I've invested all my money here. Tang Moshing was very embarrassed to lie on Hong Dali's body. This time it was all because of her. Just to make myself happy, I spent $10 million. Their feelings for each other were heating up quickly. Look at this beautiful scene. The well-built secretary woke up the duo with a shout from the back of the room. It turns out that someone wanted to write a theme song with a girl group that chases electricity. Under the sunlight, the Hongdae Hotel is particularly glamorous. A middle-aged greasy man eats the barbecue in his hand one bite at a time. Two people here spouting off about how it's a waste for the Lightning Girls to stay here. This is the director who wants Lightning Girls to sing a theme song. For the sake of the film, they thought it would instead make the girl group pop even more. A door suddenly opened and Hong Dali rushed back from outside. The secretary hurriedly introduced his boss, and Hong Dali felt a trace of revulsion because the man across the street is the director and music director of the film group. The director looked at the other with a disdainful face. He said simply to Hong Dali, "Nice to meet you." Hong Li thought to himself, this person should be the most famous director in the area. The two sides did not continue to confront each other, and began to talk about cooperation next. They introduce a film that's coming up next, The Chaser, poorly attuned. The director chimed in that this film was going to be a smash hit, because the script alone took 3 years to write. Hong Dali got it in his hand and looked at it without saying a word. And then came the question, what do you two expect from this film at the box office? The director came straight to the point, at least $15 billion. Hong Dali then asked, how much do you two plan to pay for the theme song? The music director just stuck out 5 fingers. $500,000 will buy it out. Hearing this, Hong Li directly slammed the script on the table and told them to leave. The music director looked at the other side incredulously. This drama has invested 100 million yuan. Hong Dali said coldly, your film wants to broadcast 15 billion box office is simply a dream. Even the director got angry. Are you looking down on my Ding Qingji's ability? In fact, this is what Hong Dali meant, but he didn't say it outright. The music director on the sidelines calmed down the director to communicate with him in a kind word. Hong Li couldn't bear it anymore and directly insulted them, saying, your film is really rubbish. The two of them were even more furious when these words came out. They didn't make the deal and they're in deep shit. Even the secretary was kind enough to say that they're the hottest company in town. Hong Dali actually had his own ideas and the memories of his previous life in the nowadays. Films are just kids playing house. Hong is ready for the second wave of investment. He gave the secretary some lists of names and told them to get all these people. Hong Li wants to make a film. He wants to be a director himself. Inside a film studio, a group of people are busy shooting a film. All departments are in position for the start. The hero is holding the heroine in the back with deep emotion. The lead actress in the front uses line after line about the breakup. The hero squeezes hard tears out of his eyes and tries again to hold the heroine back. At that moment the director shouted angrily to stop, and the duo was taken aback. The director came up and scolded the boys for their poor acting, not matching his own ideas. I've been scolding the man for not being able to do this and not being able to do that. And then a random guy from off the floor was asked to play it for the man. The chosen man happily nodded his head vigorously and said yes. The film continues to start and a nonsensical drama continues to start shooting. The man's exaggerated acting is embarrassing at every turn. That's the effect I wanted. The director is angry at the male lead for going back to acting like this. Suddenly the hero's mobile phone rang. The man was shocked to see the message in his mobile phone. The director is still accusing the main character of telling him to get lost. The hero's expression changed drastically. His eyes went from cowardly to unusually determined. Directly pushed away the director and angrily scolded the director for quitting himself. Late at night in a rundown flat, a piece of scrap paper was thrown on the ground looking very messy. Women have been up for a few nights now and still no one wants to accept his scripts. He was now so poor that he could hardly afford to eat. When his mobile phone suddenly rang, the woman picked it up and put it away and looked at it, and instantly came to hope. Someone gave him $1 million deposit to write a script. Women have finally thrown off their old fatigue and don't serve aggressive A's anymore. In a park in the countryside, a girl builds a flying machine, sitting on Moto City debugging the various parameters of the flying machine. A couple of kids came in here and couldn't believe it was real. One of the little fat men taunted, "If he could fly, I'd eat him up." The woman didn't hesitate to press the ignition. I heard a boom, and white smoke billowed out from around the rocket. Then in the blink of an eye, the rocket flew up into the sky and disappeared. A few people couldn't say anything in surprise. The woman was also receiving a message with a surprised expression on her face. Also received an invitation from Hong Dali. Without saying a word, I just rode away. I can't believe there's a bunch of future geniuses sitting in a building right now. Louis Kai, a new actor with ambition and ideas. Zhang Xiaoyu, an outdated film and TV scriptwriter who has written many excellent scripts. Lin Chuyin, the most unprofessional student in the eyes of teachers and parents. Hong Dali invited 3 people who had real learning and talents but were not discovered. Prepare for big things. Give them all the resources and space they want. One of them, Louis Kai, was puzzled and asked, "What does it mean to engage in business?" Hong Dali lightly stated his idea: to make a film. A few people still didn't raise their interest because they felt that this person was joking. Hong Dali said he wasn't joking, he was serious about making a great film. Louis Kai's expression is still very indifferent. Oh, he feels really very untrue. Zhang Xiaoyu even said bluntly that several of them have no reputation and no calling power. But Hong Li directly said one sentence to convince the crowd: losses and profits are their own business, and they get a direct cut of the profits. Louis Kai said that he could do it. Zhang Xiaoyu also swore that he would definitely write a good script. Lin Chuyin casually came up with, "What you need, just give me the materials directly." Just like that, a few of the future superstars are here to talk about a great collaboration. Li Yanwei also plays a crucial role here, allowing her to play the lead role. Hong Dali has his own ideas, because at this time Li Yanwei has a very high flow rate. Li Yanwei also made a request to have both of their sisters appear in the show. Hong Dali seriously agreed to the request and said that he wouldn't let them down this time. It was only at this point that Tang Machine realized that the reason for the effort was to embarrass D. He's going to prove that the film he makes is 1,000 times better than the director's. But now the main problem comes with it, and money is a big issue at the moment. Hong Li definitely thought of this piece and picked up the phone to call his parents. From one of the Hong family's bedrooms came the voice of Hong Dali's mother. The mother was happy to hear that her son was going to make a film with $100 million. But my father was a little upset because $100 million is not a small amount of money. With 3 words from my mother, I was able to finalize the deal, but my father was surprised to see that a piece of wasteland had been bought for $10 million. But the next moment, he saw that it was his son's name and froze. A group of people are busy shooting on the set of The Storm Chasers. The director is condescendingly asking the female director why she's late. The assistant fawningly reassures the director that he'll be there soon. The director is furious that the lead actress this time can't even memorize her lines. But after all, she's a high-class actress, so it's only natural to have a little bit of a rack. The angry director decides not to wait and just starts the film ready to shoot. In the post, just Photoshop the actress's face onto him. The director lamented while filming that the production has been 5 years in the making and has gr. The assistant whispered in the director's ear that he had just heard this news. The director was surprised because he knew that Hong Li was going to prepare for a film. They felt that this would be a threat to them and decided to think of a way to. The male lead is said to be a no-name newcomer. newcomer, and the screenwriter's name is Zhang Xiaoyu. Zhang Xiaoyu's fame has now been made uninteresting because of this director's tactics, but it's Lin Yanwei who's the most worrying, because the traffic she can bring in is just too much. In one of the finest hotels in the city, the three giants are sitting together ready to discuss something big. Their decisions today may be the downfall and rise of a company. The three of them drained their glasses and began to warm up from the cold. One of the bosses of the film company saw that the others looked a bit tired and asked with concern, "Don't say it, I've been getting a headache from some of the current commentary lately." The director hinted with his eyes that he wanted to use the old boss to handle the matter. The main target of this matter is Li, and the termination of the contract itself is a headache. Both bosses had suffered a great loss because of this man. They decided to fix him properly. The old boss listened to the whole story and realized that it really wasn't that simple. One of them was blackmailed into burning the contract because of his blackmail. The director also talked about the threat that Lin Yanwei might have posed to herself now. They finally decided to use Lin Yanwei's black information to ruin Lin Yanwei's reputation. This idea was approved by all three. If we can't cooperate, then we'll just destroy it, because it's the only way to minimize the threat to yourself and still get out of the way. At this point, the director's psyche is already happy, because this can be no threat to his own film. Inside the Hong Dali Hotel, a grand opening ceremony is being held for the film Operation Power Chase. A group of reporters are scrambling below to record the breaking news, because this time the leading lady is the hottest singer Li, which is enough to become heavy news. The reporters were also talking, and none of them knew who the man next to Li was. Another big news is that the director this time is the young master of the Hong family, Hong Dali. Tang Moxing was also instructing Hong Dali, hoping that this time she wouldn't make a bad film. Hong Dali is very confident. In fact, with his experience, to make a film is really a small thing. Don was still worried because people nowadays preferred to look at little boys rather than tough guys. Hong looks like he doesn't care. If he can't get a good shot, he'll go back and inherit the billions. Here's the secretary with the beautiful body coming from the sidelines. Hong Dali listened to the words brought by the secretary, not expecting it to be a big deal. It's Disney's business that's ready to approach Hong Li to discuss cooperation. Hong casually shifted the matter to his secretary to negotiate the matter. Because Hong Dali is now a director, negotiation is directly handed over to the secretary. The secretary was also promoted to the position of general manager. At this time Lin Chuyin came from behind, and she had already made what Hong Dali needed. Lin Chuyin asked Hong Dali if he wanted to test if this thing was good or not. Hong Dali also feels very innovative. Want to try the effect is how to hurry up. Tang Moxing on the side was surprised to see Hong Li, so excited it should be a good thing. He came to the backyard of the restaurant and was ready to start testing Lin Chuyin's new invention. Lin Chuyin carefully placed the items on the ground and prepared to start the test. Already Lin Chuyin asked, "Do I need to start it?" Hong Li has long been impatient to start it directly. Lin Chuyin didn't hesitate to press the button. "Isn't this just a little camera? What's so new about it?" As the camera gradually panned upwards, a light was suddenly cast out. Suddenly, a monster appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Scared the hell out of Tang Moxing, he directly jumped up and hugged Hong Li. Hong Li looked at the scared woman in his arms and whispered to him that it was fake. Explained to her that it's holographic projection technology, which gives a more realistic effect. However, when Hong Dali asked Lin Chuyin how many units she had made, Lin Chuyin replied that she could only make 3 units because one would be worth $1 million. A group of people were frantically shouting for help in the street. It's like the end of the world, everyone's running around in a panic. Behind it has been a large mouth appeared in the field of vision. Is this a legendary monster? An indescribable-looking monster has been crossing the road. What is he? A group of people ran as hard as they could for fear of being swallowed by the monster. In the corner, a little look at the camera box on the floor. This monster ran out of this box. This is the hologram invented by Lin Chuyin. The monster's teeth had leaked out in a big way when he heard that someone was trying to kill him. Immediately after that, Power Chaser appeared in front of the monster's eyes. The woman is Lin Yanwei. The man is Louis Kai. That's right, they are the hero and heroine. Lin Yanwei used her own god's skill, Blizzard Blade. Louis Kai also used his own skill, the lightning whip. But suddenly, Lin Yanwei's center of gravity was unsteady and she suddenly fell down. "It's because I'm afraid of heights when I'm making a film." Director Hong Dali panicked and asked about Lin Yanwei's health condition. Lin Yanwei was even a little nervous because she had to reshoot this part of the film. Hong Dali gently consoled, It's okay. Let's take a break and then reshoot. Director Hong looked at the lines in the script and instructed Zhang Xiaoyu to change them, because this whole script was done by Zhang Xiaoyu alone. Li Nianwei came to Hong Li's side with her hot body. Hong craned his head to look at him, feeling that something wasn't quite right about Li's expression. Li is embarrassed to tell Hong that he's always dragging the whole crew down because of himself. Zhang looked at Hong's facial expression and could already see Hong's mind. As she thought, Hong Li once again comforted, "You are the most crucial in the whole film." Li is well aware of his many shortcomings and is still worried that he will hold up the film. Make a suggestion. Why don't we do a literary film first, and put the character into it first? Hong Dali looked at his favorite warrior and agreed to the suggestion with satisfaction. He encouraged Li Nianwei again. "You are the first artiste we signed, you have to have confidence." Li regained his confidence with these encouraging words and prepared for his next performance. The city was very silent at night, and in the Hong family's villa, the cane was suddenly thrown to the ground. A quick and sudden punch from the fist. Now Hong Li's physical strength has been fully recovered. Not only do you have a normal human physique, even Tyson would have a hard time beating him. Just then, a noise interrupted Hong Li's thoughts. Tang panicked and told Hong Li that someone on the internet was breaking the black news about Li. It's already got 1 billion hits, it's gonna have a big impact. Hong Dali, on the other hand, thought calmly, "What a thought." Hong Li did not care to think about whether this black material was true or false. Tang Muxin angrily rebuked Hong Dali. "What a time to be in the mood for jokes." Tang Muxin said seriously, "Or call the police. This thing must be done by Ding." Hong Li rejected this solution in a bored manner, claiming that he would solve the problem himself. This made Tang Muxin not know what to say, because there was really nothing she could do about it. Hong Zhe said that the more the internet scolds us now, the better it will be for us. This further makes Tang Muxin wonder how this can still be beneficial to us. Hong has already thought of a countermeasure and will make whoever started this pay. Not only can we make a profit, but we can also make the other side suffer. On the other side of the internet, so many males have been cursing when they see this revelation. The director's assistant was very happy to see the story get fired up. The director on the side listened to his assistant talking about the current situation. "As long as this is done, then your own film won't be threatened in the future." The assistant smiled cheaply. "This time I can finally get my revenge. I remember the last time I went to talk to you, I was thrown off the table and thrown out." Director Ding finally breathed a sigh of relief this time, thinking that this would be a success, thinking that a family loser still wants to fight with an old geezer like himself. The internet is more powerful than anyone can imagine, and it's so easy to destroy someone. Countless keyboard warriors have turned what isn't there into blackmail for her as well. Li Nianwei found Hong Dali after knowing her situation. Hong Dali also knew that Li Nianwei was in a bad mood right now, but he was still very calm. "Looking at the beautiful woman crying in front of me, it's really hard to feel good." Hong Dali comforted Li Nianwei. "Don't cry, it's not your fault." Hong Li told her to trust herself and would pull her out of the abyss. Hong instructed Li to continue filming first and let him not worry about the subsequent trouble. Li was still very trusting because he had already saved his life. Looking at Li's departing back, Hong was even more determined to set this matter right. The secretary came in at the right moment and found out the source of the matter. Surprised to see the secretary, who came to feel that she is very capable of doing her job. After reading the message, he instructed his secretary to make an appointment and give him something. Late at night, there's no one on the streets. Hong Dali came to Li Nianwei's former boss's company alone. "Since I'd been here once before, I'm familiar with the way in this time." Opening the door to the room, Hong Li felt a hint of tension. "When I looked around, I was directly shocked by the scene inside the house. A group of big, burly men filled the room." Hong Dali looked at the group of people in the room without panic. "Is this to prepare for war?" The ex-boss standing in the center of the room spoke up. "Welcome, young Master Hong." The ex-boss looked viciously at the man in front of him. "And we finally met up." Hong Li responded unhurriedly. "To me, we are meeting for the second time." The ex-boss gave the word for a group of bodyguards to go out and wait. The bodyguard hesitated. "Sure he didn't need our protection?" This statement directly angered the former boss. "I can't even deal with a cripple." Now the only two people left in the room were sitting in chairs facing each other. The ex-boss impatiently demanded what he wanted from the other party. Hong Dali unhurriedly hurriedly fumbled in his pocket for the "put this flash drive that can kill you" on the table. Just one copy of it. See this flash drive, eyes straight. Because of this thing own lost 20 million. Anxiously, he reached out to snatch it. But Hong, who was quick to reach out, grabbed it first. Hong Dali tells ex-boss not to rush with flash drive in hand. The former boss was also shocked by the speed, but he had never been so fast. The ex-boss said directly, "What do you really want now?" Hong Dali stared at the other party's eyes. "I only want to verify one thing." The other man was very surprised. What could be so important to him? "I just want to know if you had anything to do with Li Nimwai's blackmail." The other party said directly, "No relationship." "Hurry up and give me the..." Hong said directly, "So it has nothing to do with other people, as your own business." The ex-boss angrily chastised the other party. "You say I did it, do you have any proof?" Hong Li was asked speechless. "I really have no evidence." The other party saw that there was no handle on the matter and said it was best to call the police. "I want you to check it for me." Hong Li's words made the other party angry. "Who am I to help you find out? Are you dreaming?" Hong throws the flash drive on the table and says, "Just with the video, I still have a backup of it." The former boss was completely enraged and stood up wanting to strike at Hong Dali. A group of people outside the house heard the commotion and rushed straight in. The ex-boss also threatened viciously, claimed he'd walk out of the office today. Hong Dali still calmly asked the other party if this matter had anything to do with him. The former boss was furious and raged to be stripped naked and photographed to put the video. But at this moment, Hong Li still didn't have any reaction. Seeing that the boss has given the order, the crowd directly thought of Hong Li and pounced on him. Hong Dali gently lifted his walking stick and picked it with force. The tip of the end of the cane was pressed against his opponent's neck. This scene shook the former boss. This punk actually had two tricks up his sleeve. Hong Dali looked up at the other party. "Who said I was crippled?" Hong Dali backhanded the man who was about to kill him. The ex-boss watched the scene and felt it wasn't that simple. Hong Li simply said, "I want to know now to seek confirmation of one thing." A piece of paper was then slapped on the table for the other person to write on and signed. "If you write the truth, the matter will be closed." The ex-boss looked at the arrogant young man in front of him and was furious. "I didn't realize you're such an underhanded loser as people call you. If you don't write, watch out for the video of you and your sister-in-law." The other man was driven to anger by this remark and looked at the other man angrily. The enraged ex-boss then kicked at Hong Dali. Hong Li is not his previous self now. In a fraction of a second, he jumped to the chair behind him. It was then that the ex-boss realized that young Master Hong had recovered from his illness a long time. Crouching on the chair, Hong Li looked at the other party indifferently. This further enraged the ex-boss, who was ready for a fish-out-of-water fight. Quickly throws a punch and prepares to KO the opponent. Hong Dali jumped off the chair in the blink of an eye, not letting him touch the slightest. Then the ex-boss came up with a flying kick. Hong Li thought that it was the right time to try his upgraded body. "I'm going to go after the ex-boss." Former boss claims he was once a taekwondo champion. A kick directly breaks Hong Li's walking stick. The security guards around us are yelling at us to come along, but the ex-boss was proud that he could knock it down. Hong gets caught on the leg by a crashing knee from his ex-boss. A group of bodyguards happily thought that the boss and the others were about to split up. However, they realized that Hong Li's expression did not change. The bodyguard egged the boss on to continue to add another blow. "But I didn't realize that this knee jerk would make the boss look like shit." The bodyguards in the back saw it and were ready to move in. The ex-boss called them off when he learned they were no match for him. The ex-boss had a grim expression on his face as he said he surrendered. But the next second an electric baton was pulled out directly from behind him. The electric baton was snatched away by Hong Li before he even touched it. Hong Dali looked at his opponent indifferently with the electric baton in his hand. The ex-boss was directly bowled over by the amazing speed of the Hong Li reaches out and delivers an electric shock. The former boss was also shocked by the electric shock and had no power to resist. A group of bodyguards looked at the scene in front of them and really didn't know what to do. Hong Li wants to directly electrocute the former boss until he admits defeat. At this point the ex-boss shuddered and said, "I'll give you the video from the party." Hong Dali looked at his ex-boss in surprise. "How did you have the video of the party?" "Coincidentally, the last time the former boss was photographed, he grew a little bit. From now on, every time I go out, I'll record all the contents." The USB flash drive was successfully taken into Hong Dali's hands. The former boss lowers his head and complains about his incompetence. Preparing to leave, Hong Dali relieved his ex-boss. Don't worry, I'm only targeting them. The video I brought today is also real. In exchange for you." Looking at the teenager in front of him, the former boss uttered 2 words, "Thank you." Before they all said that Hong is the loser of the people, the real almost put himself in harm's way. Hong Dali on the back of the car, this time the receipt of unexpected. "I didn't realize there was such hard evidence. Looks like Lin Yanwei is saved." Inside the Hongdae hotel the next day, computer shows video of evidence recorded by ex-boss. Several people watch the video in front of them incredulously. Don is furious. There are already more than 3 million negative comments under V's account. Hong Dali unhurriedly told them not to rush first, because they're going to do something inside the video. Lin Shuyin reminds, "If you do this, the professional department will find out about it." Hong Li actually expected it, but they didn't dare to check it out. A period of time passed quickly, and director Ding's The Wind Chaser has been released. At the film's launch, director Ding decided to promote the publicity well. Remembering the envy in his eyes when he interviewed director Ding, the director was also happy, because the last drama sold 300 million at the box office. This time it's a decade in the making. Remember that you should hire your own people, and always put in a good word for the director. The audience below couldn't help but get into the interactive session as well. One of the strange-looking women applied to be an actress. Director Ding said a bunch of grandiose things without even looking at them. This has been recognized directly by countless TV viewers, and it was at this point that Operation Electricity Chase began its theatrical run. But they don't have a crowd here. Hong Li felt that the time was ripe and directly spread the video. Inside one of director Ding's villas, the 3 of them drank wine. The veteran director shows praised director Ting, saying they had a strong reaction to the premiere. Director Ding is also fawning and drinking with him, anticipating the film to be a big seller. At this moment, they didn't forget to discuss the situation on Hong Dali's side either. Heard that not a single person patronized the opening day, which made him mentally comfortable. The old boss was also happy about it, and once again the end was celebrated by the. What they don't know is that a crisis is coming. Just then, the assistant beside him suddenly rushed in, shouting that something is wrong. That video posted by Hong Li has started to ferment online. Several people felt a bolt from the blue as they watched themselves in the video. They can't even think about it being on the computer like that. But in the video the old boss is gone, changed to another person, but director Ding didn't make any changes. Everything he said was captured on video. The 3 were dumbfounded by this. The first thing they suspected was the ex-boss. But what's the point of doubting? The video's already been sent. One of the ones that wasn't there but was told to call the police by P who was there. This was stopped directly by the boss, because the person who was PD off was the old boss. Director Ding angrily blamed the old boss. "You don't care about us after the accident? After all, the boss is the boss." 2 words directly disliked the director Ding speechless. They dared to be angry. Their teeth were clenched and squeaked. And at this time the netizens see this powerful news is very different. They have started confessing, claiming that they have been cursing wrong for so long. They've also discovered who really started it all. Netizens are still supporting Lin Yanwei's film in order to show their repentance. The entrance to the cinema the next day was bustling with people. In just 2 days, it broke 1 billion at the box office. This is the wisdom of Hong Li. The woman took the director into her arms. The actors below applauded and applauded. Tang Machine awkwardly said that she was a little too excited just now. A film that broke 1 billion at the box office in just 2 days. Hong said he'll start celebrating tonight and pay out the prize money. It's going to be a sleepless night. It's a great achievement for a director of such a young age. But pity the former director Ding. Once a big hit, now even passers-by laugh at it. I can't believe director Ding has fallen to this level. The assistant was even more unlucky to be implicated without doing anything. Director Ding guessed that it should be Hong Dali who did it, because no one has a big problem with him but him. Director Ding was also determined to find a chance to take revenge. The director heads out the door, claiming he's going to disappear for a while. There's a brother who's been in seclusion for many years. We're going to find him now. The assistant didn't disregard the man because he knew it was no good to continue. Late at night, in the Hong family's villa, the father and mother looked at their physical physically fit son in front of them with relief. "I've grown a lot taller without realizing it." The mother expressed her gratitude as soon as she kept her daughter-in-law in her house, because since she came, her son has changed a lot. Not only has his body recovered, but also his brain. Hong's father even said straight away that we will be a family from now on. Tang Moxing was touched and bowed to show her gratitude. In the back garden of the Hong family's villa, curious, Tang Moxing asked why she put the credit on herself. Hong Dali naturally replied, "It was you originally. Ever since you came to me, good things have been happening to me." And that's when their relationship heated up. Looking at each other's eyes so closely for the first time, Tang Moxing was a little shy. She probably didn't know that she had fallen for this handsome man either. "When I think of all the nonsense that was done in the beginning, it was actually all thought out." Suddenly, Tang Moxing pushed Hong Dali with one hand into the. Then he sat on Hong Li's bum. Tang Moxing gently tickled Hong Dali's heart with her finger, but just as the two were getting closer and closer, suddenly a carelessness. Tang Moxing smashed into his body. Lying in Hong Li's arms, he felt warmth. Tang Moxing whispered his name in his ear. "I didn't realize you had such a strong chest." Hong Li, who had been pressed for breath, replied earnestly, "That's because my body is slowly recovering." It was also at this time that Tang Moxing revealed his true intention of coming to the Hong family. The Tang family is in trouble, and Tang Moxing has come to ask for help in marriage. Tang Moxing got up violently, for she remembered a strange incident she had had 3 years ago. The Tang family Tang has been around for 800 years and has been developed between. After centuries of development, it is now among the top 100 in the world. But just 3 years ago, a new pharmaceutical company rose to prominence in a short period of time. Now it's even surpassed Tang's Hall. No need to think either there's a thief or a traitor. Response from Moses Tong: "Good, there are indeed thieves, but it's hard to catch them, because this man is like a transparent person, invisible to surveillance." The security guards smelled a scent at each of the crimes. "She must have stolen all the company's internal information." Hong Dali said bluntly, "So what can our Hong family do to help you?" "There's a way. There's a big auction in half a month. One of these treasures could bring the Tang family back from the dead. That's the strange herb plucked from the heavenly realm mountain Tianyuan grass. It's said that this grass has the effect of bringing the dead back to life. That's how you can win back the market and finally come back from the dead." At the auction, "I don't know if the Tang family will have a chance to win the Tianyuan grass. Now Uncle Han has agreed to help auction the Tianyuan grass. From now on, we'll share the profits with the Hungs 50 to 50. I'll marry you right away and cook for you every day." Looking at the chattering Tang Moxing, Hong Li has made up his mind to help him, because this time there's more than one competitor. Tang Moxing and her duo are now mutual favorites. Instead of the love that was there before because of the deal, Tang Moxing suddenly summoned up the courage to reach out, gently kissed Hong Li on the cheek, claimed it was interest paid up front, then turned his head and left the premises. Looking at the smiling Tang Moxing, he felt happy. That's the real deal. Half a month later, a group of bigwigs gathered in one place. Papa Hong greeted the Tang family. At this moment, Hong Dali very politely called out Uncle Tang. It was only then that he realized that Hong Li's body was already well. Similarly, Hong Dali once again gave the credit to Tang Moxing. Hong's father walks in front and shouts for the Tang family to come up together. "I'm afraid it's going to be a tough fight today." Looking at the people who entered the venue one by one, all of them with great dignity, the current Hong Li is also spreading in the circle, collapsed by the outside world. The auction was about to begin. Everyone was consciously quiet. Hong's father spoke directly to the Tang family. "I'll buy you as much as you need." At this time, Tang Moxing wanted to go to the bathroom, and Hong Dali accompanied her. In the bathroom, the chap on the side noticed Hong Li's parts. Casually, "What are you looking at?" Then the man came to say, "I've never served anyone in my life, and you're the first."